Are you ready to increase your emotional intelligence? Stay tuned. Welcome to another Mind Right Monday. I'm your host, Bonnie Kelly, and I am here today to talk to you about how you can increase your emotional intelligence. I'm going to share with you 3 different tips, tools, or ideas on how you can do just that, so make sure you stay tuned. But before we dive into that, let's talk about what it means to be emotionally intelligent. Now, that's a pretty industry buzzy word. I'm sure you've heard of it, and you've probably even maybe read all about it. Daniel Goleman wrote a book called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. There have been just dozens of books since then that have talked about this important topic. In fact, it's so important that a lot of big Fortune 500 companies have began assessing on whether or not you have this skill or not. Now, the key word in that is skill. That's right. Anybody can become emotionally intelligent if they choose to commit their time, effort, and energy to doing that. So what does it mean to be emotionally intelligent? Well, I'm going to simplify it in its simplest form. And it just means your ability to not only be aware of what you're feeling, but also why you're feeling it, and how those feelings are affecting you and those around you. It's really your ability to be tuned in to your emotional set point, to know when you're experiencing an emotion and to not have to react to it. In fact, you can begin to reason with it and manage it in a way that it'll actually guide your behavior versus emotionally reacting. In its simplest form, that's what it means to be emotionally intelligent. So if you're ready to learn how you can increase it, then let's start with the first one, which is stop worrying about everyone else and reflect on your own emotions. Being emotionally intelligent starts with you. That's right. I get how often we want to be socially intelligent, meaning that we want to see how these emotions are affecting the people around us or how we can begin to affect their emotional state. But you cannot do that if you don't start right here. You need to start with understanding how your feelings are affecting you. And the biggest part is you need to know what you're feeling in the first place. This world has taught us to shut down, tune out, and numb out our emotions. We are chronic avoiders of our feelings. So the very, very first step is for you to begin to start to assess what I'm feeling on the regular. Now, what that means is that throughout your day, you need to tune in. You need to check in, pause. What am I feeling? And just jot it down. A few hours later, just pause again. Tune in. What am I feeling? Now, for some of you, you're going to say, I don't feel anything. Well, that is actually a feeling. It's called numbness or apathy. But then you really want to find out why you're feeling that. Well, maybe you're bored, or maybe that's how you cope with dealing with stress or hard situations. Don't you think that's important to understand about you? It is. All right, let me end this section off with a quote, which is, "We are dangerous when we are not conscious or responsible of how we behave, think, and feel." Marshall Rosenberg. We are very dangerous when we aren't aware of that because that's when we become reactive and or out of control. So it's important for you to be tuning into your emotion. You need to understand what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. That's the start of increasing your emotional intelligence. All right, this leads me to my next one, which is take timeouts as needed. All right, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to start taking what I call emotional responsibility. That means that when we are feeling an emotion that is getting the best of us, and those feelings could be anger, it could be anxiety, it could be overwhelm, it could be worry, it could be fear, it could be panic, it could be frustration or defensiveness or even pride. Now, if we're feeling these emotions and they're getting the best of us, you need to call out, time out. That is right. You need to check yourself before you seriously wreck yourself. And that requires us to take a level of emotional responsibility, to excuse ourselves when we're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and begin to practice tools like breathing or counting backwards from 10 or any other tools that are NLP or tapping or any other tool that is needed to help you get into a better emotional state. Even what I call vomiting your emotions all over a piece of paper is a great way to just express what that feeling is so we can get beyond it and have a different response. Because when you're in an emotional reaction, that's not the time or place to have a conversation. And emotionally intelligent people know that. All right, let me end this section off with a fun quote by Benjamin Franklin, which he says, "Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame." Very true words from a very wise man. All right, let's go dive into my third and final tip on how you can increase your emotional intelligence, which is don't be afraid to explore the why. All right, as I mentioned, it's not only what you're feeling, it's why you feel it in the first place. To really master emotional intelligence, we need to understand us on a mental and emotional level that really only a small percentage of people take the time to do. But that's when we can be a mindful master, where we master the mental and emotional state. And that's truly where you elevate into the highest levels of being the most emotionally intelligent person on this planet. And that means really investigating every feeling and saying why, including the good ones. So when we can explore and understand them, well, then we can either recreate them or course correct them when needed. So if you want to be an emotionally intelligent person, you need to understand what makes you tick. If you don't understand that, if you don't understand how your past experiences have shaped and molded the way that you are processing information and how those things are influencing the reasons why you feel the way that you feel, well, if we haven't connected those dots, then you have some serious exploration in front of you. We have to really understand how you play the game of life. And to do that, you need to know your reasons. You need to know your reasons why you are struggling with fear, or why you react in anger or defensiveness or pride. And when we can understand those reasons, like I said, you can either continue to use them or we can avoid them when necessary. So let me leave you off with this quote by Joseph, and he said, "Emotions are the critical source of information for learning." Your emotions, when we have that emotional experience, are clues. I often joke that they're like the check engine light coming on in your car. When they're on, it's just serving as a warning that says, hey, something's off. It's time to tune in and really investigate why. Why are you feeling so anxious or numb or frustrated or bored? Like, what's causing that? What inner experience, what thoughts, what past experiences, what fears, what doubts, what insecurities are fueling this? And when we can bring that together and get a holistic picture of why you do what you do, you can become the most emotionally intelligent person on this planet. Now, if you need help doing that, well, guess what? I happen to be a mindful master. You can come and see me and check out our courses, other videos and trainings. They're going to help you do just that. Because I think that this life is way too short to be miserable. So why not learn the skills and tools necessary to evolve into a better state of being? If you want to start that process right now and not even wait, check out my 21dayemotionaldetox.com program. You can get the first 7 days free, and in 10 minutes or less, we can start getting your mind right too. Until next time, I'm Bonnie Kelly. Did you enjoy this video? I hope so. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is how you can always stay connected with all the personal dev tools and tips and ideas that we are bringing forward to you each and every week. And if you have a personal development question that you would like to see answered, maybe you're just struggling with something and you're looking for a resource, reach out. You can get a hold of me at getinspired@bonniekelly.me. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions and help put you on the right path to wherever you need to go. Until next time, I'm Bonnie Kelly.